What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Preacher Season 2 video review. So, it's been ages since we've had Preacher back on our screens, and boy, has Season 2 really come into its own here in the first episode. So, if you're not aware, if you're a fan of Preacher but you haven't actually read the comics, well, the first season of the show was pretty much a prologue and a prequel, because the comics pretty much start where we do now, kind of. We have got the Saint of Killers chasing our crew, and we have also got as well the crew on a road trip, which is one of the best bits, because the parts of the first season I loved were when the group were together. I mean, Cassidy is one of the funniest things, I think, on TV. By far, the actor is superb. He was in Misfits, the British show Emmerdale as well. And here, again, he's proven to be one of the funniest bits. Even when he's talking about what they do with all the foreskins that are circumcised. I mean, it's so weird. Like, who even thinks about that? That's so fucking strange. But it works, and we've got a really good dynamic here between all three of them. And the show has come into its own, I think. I mean, we've got the next episode. It's tonight in America. And I'll bring you a video tomorrow. So if you're new to the channel, please do drop a like. Please do subscribe as well. That would be really, really awesome. So the episode pretty much starts off. We've got the actual comics now. So the comics are a road trip. This is our road trip here with the group going. And I love the fact the way it just turned into an absolute murder fest. We've got our preacher using the voice of God properly. Now he's not afraid to properly use that, and they're learning more about those powers as time will go on, and he's actually using it for his own good. I mean, one of the criticisms I had with Season 1 was the fact that it was so incredibly slow. It just ambled through things, and now we have hit the proper show. To be honest, the first season is like issue 0, or kind of a prologue, to be honest. And now we get the real deal, which is really, really good. And it's just so stupidly violent. I mean, we see heads blown off. We had, obviously, the siphoning gas using the intestines, which is incredibly gross when you think about it. But that is what this show is. It is a really kind of 70s exploitation movie, mixed with Dexy's Midnight Runners, which this is essentially what we saw in the trailer. One thing I will say about the show is we had the group driving, and then we see the cars go along, and we cut to a really jarring part in the car where you can easily see that outside of those windows is some kind of backdrop or whatever. It doesn't seem like they're actually driving the car. It's very, very cheesy. I'm not sure if it was meant to be Grindhouse level cheesy there, but to me, it felt a bit jarring, to be honest. But it was cool seeing them drive along and not give an absolute shit. And really, they are driving from the Saint of Killers, who is the kind of Grim Reaper sort of guy. He does all the bad, and that is the guy we saw throughout the first season. He was resurrected by the idiot kind of... They're not angels, they're not whatever... The two dudes from the first season, who I hope we see again. I think when last we saw, they were actually opening up the coffin, and, well, they can't actually die, or can they? But we've got the Saint of Killers, who is pushing them on the run, and it sets up more of a tension, and every kind of scene matters now in this show, which before it really, really didn't. It was more of a slower ambling through. Now, we learn that God wanted to come to the strip club for jazz. He liked the jazz there. So very, very weird stuff going on there. And very, very peculiar that Jehovah wanted to sit there and just watch some nice jazz, which was so, so weird. But we learn more about Jesse's past as we see this go on, and we meet his relatives. And interestingly, in the comics, we actually meet his mother's family, who I think the Langles, I believe that's how you pronounce it, they were absolute douchebags. They are proper redneck mentals, and we learn the story of how his father the veteran met his mother. And I'm not too sure if we're going to see that as time goes by, because he escaped from that when he was younger. He escaped from the life of these weird kind of rednecks. And we learn that through the course of the things. We even have like some kind of fetishists later on in New York. I mean, things get really, really weird, really, really fast. So we've got this kind of 2-part episode going on. So I'm not too sure how they're going to escape the Saint of Killers, because the Saint of Killers have found them, and the word of God does not work on the Saint of Killers whatsoever. So it seems like they are very, very screwed. But we're getting a sort of white supremacist Nazi guy as the villain for this season later on. So they're going to have to deal with the Saint of Killers first, who really isn't going to put up with any shit from this crew whatsoever. But can the Saint of Killers kill a vampire? That's what I'm not sure about. But going forward, I think this sets a great precedent for the show. Hopefully it's not just the first episode, which is really fast-paced, really on the move, and I'm hoping that this whole season will follow it, and they will actually go on and have more of a fast-paced thing. I'm not sure about the Tulip and Cassidy romance there, that they banged. I don't really like that story at all. I don't think it's something that Cassidy would actually do to his best friend who has saved his life multiple times. So that's a bit unbelievable to me. I'm not sure if that was the same in the comics, but it just doesn't seem like something that he would do. But they are adding more and more drama for this episode. So I guess that's what they want to do. So I can see them finding Jesse's mother's parents and her family. I expect that will be an interesting thing where the Saint of Killers probably comes in and kills them all. Now, I'm hoping they kind of escape from this Saint of Killers, and Jesse and him kind of have some sort of mutual respect in the comics, and they kind of sort of not hate each other, but kind of have a kind of, they reach an impasse, sort of. So I'm hoping to see that kind of dynamic as time goes by, but I think the character looks incredibly menacing, and to me, it's kind of scary. So let me know what you think in the comments. Please do like, please do subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.